name is Samantha Puma. I have been teaching here since 2017. So I have a student who I had freshman year in my English honors class. She was like, I am not an English person. And I said, well, by the end of the year, let's revisit that conversation. And by the end of the year, she did ultimately love English class. We end the year with poetry. So everybody grunts when they hear poetry. So I try to use some modern poets, specifically from Button Poetry, which is like a slam poetry type of group that travels. So I pulled a poem up, and it really resonates with the girls. A lot of it is about kind of just like anxiety and this like need to feel perfect, whatever it was. This particular student was like, oh my goodness, like I've never really heard poems like that. From there, she researched him, and then she researched the Button Poetry Foundation, and she just wound up kind of falling in love with it. And I did not teach her again until this year. And I did not know that she continued to love and study poetry because, of course, she's taking other classes and we would see each other in the hallway and say hello, but like never really, sometimes we would catch up and talk about those things, but never specifically poetry. It's not like a conversation that you just have in the hallway. So I was like, remember from freshman year when we did this? And she's like, oh my goodness, like that made me fall in love with poetry. Like I love this poet and I love this poet. And I'm like, my goodness, who are you? Like where did this come from? And she's like, freshman year, I just really felt a connection after we watched those videos and those performances and the recitation. So she follows the poet on Instagram, so do I. And Christmas time was coming, and he had posted that you could buy a signed copy of his short poems, and he only had X amount or whatever. So as soon as I saw it, I like set a reminder on my phone, and I secretly picked her for Secret Santa. She had seen me later on in the day, a couple days later in the hallway, and I was like, did you see that poet posted on Instagram that he had signed poems? So she made a funky face, like trying to get a read on what I was saying, and she was like, yeah, I did see that. Why? And I'm like, I don't know, I was just saying. I mean, he posted that. And we had this kind of like weird moment of, what do you know that I don't know? And then she had left, she went for college visits, I hadn't seen her, and I was like desperate to give her this. And then when she returned, she emailed me and was like, we don't have class today, but I have something for you. So she hands me a frame that's 11 by 17, and I'm like, no way. She's like, what? She's like, I want you to have this, like it's a piece of me that I'm leaving here with you because you're the one that inspired this love for it and this passion in me. And I'm like, this cannot be the poem signed by this poet. And she's like, it is. I'm like, I got you the exact same one. I'm like, literally the exact same one. So that was a really special moment in my teaching career. I'll have it forever. It's hanging up in my classroom, and she's like, I'm gonna bring mine with me to college. And there's just special connections here with the girls that I don't think that you would really get in other schools or other places. Encouraging the girls to feel empowered enough to make those connections, and then hopefully they will do that in their life when they leave Trinity and feel that comfort or feel that ability to reach out if they need help or they need something. And I think we give them the space to be able to do that.